Truth Seeker here, Josh Rishu.
Littlefoot,
Forgot about that.
what's
Got
happening?
the speakers. I forgot to turn the speakers off.
Littlefoot.
Littlefoot's in the building. We're broadcasting live. This July 19th, year of our Lord, 2020. Broadcasting live from the New Orleans metropolitan area, also known as Wagtown, Stanktown, what. You know, they say in life
What's that?
that you don't dress for the job that you have. You dress for the job that you want. So, you know, just being with the whole COVID thing and everything, we're just, you know, we're classing things up here at the Truth Seeker Podcast. You know, Littlefoot's just a cartoon, but if you could see what she was wearing right now, it's an extravagant gown with like so many pearls and diamonds and like
Jewels.
like I can't count the number of things that are like dangling off of this dress.
Crystals.
You know, so
Healing crystals.
I mean, the budget is going way up on the show. You know, we're on YouTube now. We're not on. What was it, MixLR? I can't even remember what the fuck we were on. What were we on? Who knows?
Twigs and berries.
No, we were on MixLR. For those who don't know, now we're on YouTube. We're moving on up. The studio's gotten the upgrades. It's like, you know, it's. I feel like the princess in Aladdin. It's a whole new world. No, I don't know, but
So what is the job you want? Don Draper?
Well, no, I mean, you know, this is we're trying to be a professional, comedic, political talk show.
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
You know, that's kind of what we'd be doing here. We kind of poke fun at everything, and definitely try to give you our views of what we think are biases and things that are to watch out for and stuff like that. You know, I've made bold predictions that have come true. I believe that there is some validity to my political beliefs. So why not start taking myself seriously?
There you go.
Why not start taking all of this very, very seriously? And you know, I wanted to start off the podcast this evening with one thing that happened while we were watching the morning news this morning, because you know, Sunday morning, that is the morning for your news in America. Every single news station is on at Sunday morning, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., giving you the political who's and what's of what is going on in the world around you. Mm-hmm. That's how it works. Okay? So we're watching this, and there's this news article. They're going on and on talking about how there's these change shortages. And then everybody said, well, how could that be? Like, how could there be change shortages? Because, you know, the Federal Reserve, they print the money. Like, what's going on? Well, you see, what happened is that COVID-19 is very
Dangerous?
is a very dangerous, deadly situation. Okay? So the Federal Reserve isn't able to print money right now.
Because they're not working.
They can't work. They can't print money. It's too dangerous with COVID-19 going on right now all around the country. You know, so go to school, kids. Go to work, parents.
Also, donate your change because we need it.
Donate your change because we need it, because we can't go to work. We can't do our jobs in the government and provide a basic service like
Currency.
money and currency. We can't even do that. It's a really, really sad and fucked up situation that our country is in at this moment. And we have a giant deal of white people who are still wanting to sit on the sidelines with these issues.
Oh, yeah.
The time for silence was like 10 years ago. If we're going to be honest with each other, and if we're going to have, just a honest back and forth. What we have going on in America right now is really messed up. We have a government not being able to provide change. So, my solution to this is, oh, you want capitalism? I got capitalism for you. I got tons of change. I've got buckets full. I know people who have buckets full. I have ways of acquiring change. There are ways, dude, you don't want to know. Mm-hmm. Now, this is capitalism. Okay, you want 4 quarters? Okay, $10. Give me $10, I'll give you 4 quarters. I take Venmo. I take PayPal. You don't have change. I have change. I have what you need. The federal government can't even give you what you need right now. And by the way, these are all things that have been warned to us throughout our lives, daily, over and over, that this was what's going to happen whenever communism takes over.
They're
socialism.
They're saying that today. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No. I'm just making sure. Because, I almost didn't hear you, so I was just making sure that it was up. Because I have my headphones turned a little bit down. But,
to this day, they're saying this is look what happens when communism takes over.
This isn't communism.
But that's
Trump,
yeah.
Trump is in power right now. That's what you are seeing right now is the government you wanted. The government you wanted is in power. Republicans have the Senate. Republicans have the executive branch. Democrats have the House of Representatives.
No, somehow Democrats are in control of everything right now.
Yeah. But Democrats are in control of the House of Representatives. That's the only thing that they're in control of. And they are continuously passing bills. There are hundreds of bills that have been passed by the Democratic House that are just dying there. Nothing's happening. There is literally nothing coming out of the Senate. They're not even really proposing anything. Anytime anything is to be proposed in the Senate, it's shot down and objected to. And it's not allowed to be talked about. Because they use all of these proceedings to buy time and control the argument. To basically make it to where there is no argument. Because you're not allowed to talk about it. Like in Florida, you're not allowed to talk about fucking climate change. Like, get fucking real. But, I mean, it is what it is. This is the reality that's going on right now. What's also going on right now is we have actual tyranny with unmarked cars and soldiers in fatigues and automatic weapons detaining people, putting them in these unmarked vehicles, and literally telling people, if you follow us, we will shoot you.
Yeah.
This
is America.
This is Trump's America. This is not socialism.
Right.
These are federal agents. This is being done from the highest levels of government. That's how all this is moving forward. So we need to start taking a hard look at ourselves. Like inside. Look into the character of your being. I hear a lot of times with a lot of people that I talk to. I'm speaking to Littlefoot. I'm speaking to you guys as well. I mean, this is a conversation. Well, we got the chat opened up on YouTube. Like I said, the technology that has been able to be afforded to us now with this YouTube merger. That's what we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it a YouTube merger. That's gonna be the headline.
I guess I'll start a company history and an about us section.
But so
It's fucking tyranny. That's the point.
yeah, you have the tyranny going on right now. And what I've heard a lot from a lot of people that I know and a lot of people that we talk to, my American values. Oh, Rona, yeah, you better stay away from me. 6 feet. American values. We're against tyranny. We're free market society. Just look, I don't judge anybody. But repeatedly, what's happening in American society is that certain people are judged before a judge and jury is able to decide their fate. They're judged on the street corner as soon as they're apprehended. Only, well, I'm not going to say only, but a vast majority of people who make up a minority of the population are making up this group of people that are being attacked and murdered by its government agents. The last time this happened in America, there was a Revolutionary War. Now, I am not trying to incite violence. That is not my intention at all. That is not what I'm trying to say. But I am stating history, that this is what happened. And historical fact, the Boston Massacre. That's what kind of peaked off the Revolutionary War and really turned the tide and made people really pissed off and decide to revolt. And it's because British soldiers were killing teenagers in the fucking streets.
Yeah, speaking of pissed off, if you want to be pissed off about a mask, but you're not pissed off about people getting pulled into unmarked cars and transported away without being read their Miranda rights.
No.
And strip searched and all their shit gone through and detained and held for like 9 hours before their Miranda rights get read to them, and then they get questioned without a lawyer, and then they get released with no paperwork. If you don't like come out with your rifles and bullshit for that, but you will over having to wear a mask in a Target, then not only are you not a patriot, but you're just a piece of shit.
Yeah, you're not a patriot. There's a lot of people walking around with this thin blue line American flag,
which is disrespectful.
Is disrespectful to the American flag. You are doing the utmost of disrespect if you go by the flag code and what's being done. One thing that doesn't disrespect the flag is burning it. Not once is that mentioned in the flag code. Actually, what's mentioned in the flag code about burning the flag is that's the proper way to dispose of it. If it becomes torn and tattered and it is no longer suitable to fly, you are supposed to burn it.
Like after 2 summers in Louisiana.
Yeah.
For example.
That's the actual proper way that you were supposed to take care of an American flag. But again, this with a lot of other things in America, the problem is that people do not know proper
anything.
Yeah,
they care to read or learn anything.
They don't know the definitions of words they use. They don't know their political positions and what they really mean. Mm-hmm. We have a country of anti-intellectuals who, and again, I'm trying to be honest here, they are a minority. Mm-hmm. These people are a minority.
They're also woefully ignorant. They say things like, I don't watch the news. I I don't read the news. I don't listen to that. I tune out. I don't want to hear all that negativity. So you're sitting here telling me
just tune out.
You don't know anything except for what you scroll through on Facebook, and you want to fucking sit here and argue with me.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck off.
Exactly. And that's
have a lovely day while doing so.
That's what it is. And a vast majority of white Americans, though, are not being honest about this conversation. Because you know that racism is alive. You know that you see it, maybe not in your house, but in your neighborhood, I would assume. Because, again, we all know somebody who acts this fucking type of way, and no matter what the fuck you say to them, and no matter what you do, like, that is the responsibility of white people from this point on now. It's like you can no longer just be a cheerleader on the sidelines on this issue of racism and tyranny and what's going on in the Republican Party right now. Like, anybody who supports this president, Trump, and what is going on right now in this country as far as, like, unmarked vehicles detaining people and taking them away, and, you know,
which, by the way, is also a problem when they do it to, you know, children of immigrants.
Yeah, this is also the problem we have at the border, but you don't really just know about it because it's just, you know, the immigrant kids, but you're doing the exact same thing at the border.
Mm-hmm. Now it's happening to people you might know.
Yeah. Now it's happening.
Anyone that lives around Portland is subject to getting swooped up with Trump's fucking goons in there.
Yep.
And it's Border Patrol agents, by the way. I read about it.
It is?
They have jurisdiction within 100 miles of any U.S. border.
So that's basically going to be their justification for going in and using the force to be like, oh, well, this is a border issue. We're going in and dealing with this. These are protesters. We don't know if these people are illegal.
And, they're just available agents that have jurisdiction, so they're doing whatever the fuck they want. They just said, hey, now you do this.
Yeah.
They were attacking brown people coming from Mexico. Now they're attacking white people in Oregon buying coffee at Starbucks.
It's just, it is ridiculous. Anybody who can still sit by silently while all this shit is going on and try to pretend like life is just fucking normal, I don't know how you're functioning at this moment. Like, I don't get the reason.
They're still in La La Land. It hasn't affected them yet. Wait till their kids get sent back to school, then one of them gets COVID, then one of them gets put in the fucking iron lung or whatever they do to treat kids from COVID.
Not only that, but then there's the Suzuki virus, which is that's that skin inflammatory disease,
circulatory, and
that starts with kids who were COVID positive, and it didn't show up originally, and then later on they're having all this.
Suzuki shit.
Yeah, exactly. The Suzuki virus reaction. I believe that was the name I heard. I could be wrong. I don't know. You know, if you guys in the chat room, because we are doing this live.
But yeah, that's what it's gonna take for them to care.
And at that point, I don't even know, because like. Honestly, it was to me. These are people. A lot of people I know. A lot of people I know are like this, and I don't get it. Like, I don't understand it.
They have to have the tough guy mentality. It's a way for them to fit in and have friends in a life.
Yeah. To me, that's just. Yeah.
They have to go out and eat at restaurants and be in crowded areas and post pictures on Facebook to make it appear that, like, you know, anyone gives a shit about being around them.
What's going on right now with this whole COVID situation and Trump not giving a shit about us, the Republican Senate not giving a shit about us, nobody's really putting forth any effort in trying to provide some type of money or help to the American people.
Which, granted, they shouldn't have to do again, honestly, because they should have given us the stimulus checks and everybody should have stayed the fuck home. And
it should have just been done the first time.
Yeah, companies should have paid out the Paycheck Protection Program shit, and big corporations shouldn't have got it and should have still paid their employees to stay the fuck home. So we screwed the pooch already. Like, we're literally back at square one.
Yeah.
Italy had 192 cases yesterday. We had 70,000. So, like, we done fucked up, son.
Yeah.
Like, now it's time to regroup and get a new plan because we already fucked it up. So now is the second chance that you don't rarely get, and we have to do something right.
And another argument that keeps going on is you have all these numbers wizards on the conservative side. They're very, very numbers oriented, okay? Because
yeah, that's why they're fiscal conservatives. I'm joking. That's satire.
Yeah, but what's going on is that they start making comparison of like, oh yeah, well, Taiwan and Japan and all that, yeah, they have less landmass than us, so we're more spread out, we're safer. Okay.
So why do we have so many cases?
Yeah, so why is the rate raising so fast that we're not able to control it or do anything like? Oh well. It's less dangerous than the flu. Well, actually, flu last year killed, I think at the most estimates we could say, probably about 40 to 50,000 last year, 2019. Like that's probably like last year's numbers. And it fluctuates between there, like between 20 to about 50,000 people a year. That's flu numbers. We're at 140,000 people. We're already 100,000 more people than die from the flu in 1 year in 6 months.
Not 6 months. Not even 6 months.
6 months. Because this shit started in February.
But they didn't start tracking those numbers until March.
They didn't start tracking them until March, but this shit started happening in February. Okay. That's when this shit came here.
Okay. Well, 140 people have died since March.
The shutdown... Yeah, and so that's why you can even argue that we'll never know the true number.
No, you never will.
We never, and even though we're counting them now, there's still going to be huge discrepancies and fuck-ups and miscalculations.
Which is the same with the flu.
There's all kinds of data fuck-ups, and then that's why with the flu, they do have variation numbers, which is why I'm saying like 40 to 50,000 or like 20 to 50,000. Or
it's as low as 15,000 and as high as 60,000.
Yeah, because
their best guess is around 40,000 in a bad year.
Yeah. And again, this is the CDC. They practice this.
Who we used to listen to for the medical advice to the country.
Yeah, until an orange baboon got into a fucking, political commercial and decided that he knew politics. With what track record? What track record does Trump even have as a businessman? Like, let's be honest. He has his track record is failure. Failure after failure, fraud after fraud, corruption after corruption. He is on trial right now for defrauding charities in the state of New York. Do you know how serious that is? The state of New York is going after Trump, a sitting president of the United States, even knowing that, pushing forward with their lawsuit because of him defrauding charities.
And he's tried to appeal that to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has said that
denied.
They need to hear the case because it's so fucked up.
You need to release the tax returns. That's the decision that just came down from the Supreme Court recently. We didn't really touch on it much, and I apologize for that. But like I said, we're changing the format of the show a little bit. We're going to try to progress and move forward with a little bit more structured of a format of a talk show. But we're still kind of just winging it right now. Fuck it.
Dress for the job you want.
Dress for the job that you want. You don't have to have the job that you want. You just got to dress for it. But you know, I own the production company, so fuck it.
You should run for president.
I should run for president. Right now in business, I'm more successful than Donald Trump. Just right now. Right now, I'm more successful because I haven't lost any money.
But how much medical experience do you have? See, can you...
How much medical experience?
Yeah.
I've applied Band-Aids for 38 years. 38 years on this life, I've experienced broken bones. I've experienced scrapes, cuts, and bruises.
How much syphilis have you survived?
Decades. They used to... No.
Oh, my God.
It's...
I'm joking because, he fucks porn stars. But the evangelicals still love him.
I didn't even go that way. I was just...
He's got like 4 wives and mistresses and whatever Ivanka is. And
she's a Russian mail order bride, right?
I hope she's someone else's kid and just like...
Ivanka?
Yeah. I don't know.
She kind of looks like him.
She's had all kinds of plastic surgery. I'm getting off on a tangent anyway. But anyway, yeah. They're gross, bad people.
And that's the thing. Like, Republicans keep talking about, like, oh, we're against the tyranny. We're against the government coming in and seizing people and not giving us our rights and blah, blah. Okay, where are you? What's the Boogie Boys? What the fuck are they called? Those racist white guys
Proud
with the
Boys?
guns? Proud Boys, that's it.
Probably in Target kicking over mask stands. I don't fucking know. What do they do?
Yeah, well, they're not anywheres around.
No.
But they're in the Portland area, and I guarantee you that they know what's going on. See, the thing is that they want to participate. They think that the government is going to allow them to participate and become agents of the state because they share the same hateful views as the state. They don't have any intention of actually protecting people from the government. And that's just the way that I see it. I don't see any other way that we could really justify their actions in their behavior. And that's the problem. Like, again, we're talking about, the Republicans hating the tyranny, but they're silent on this issue. They're really, really vocal against pedophilia and Jeffrey Epstein being connected to Bill Clinton. Well, guess what? Jeffrey Epstein is connected to Donald Trump as well. Mm-hmm. And not only is Epstein connected to Trump, but guess who else is connected to Trump? Ivanka Trump.
Oh, yeah.
And the way that this man talks about his daughter, I am almost positive that he has sexually abused that girl.
Yeah, he has.
I am almost positive. Almost positive. Just because this man is a creep. He is a fucking creep. Anybody who cannot admit this now, before the 2016 election, we knew this. Just with all the footage that we had. Talking about grabbing women by the pussy because he can. That's what he said.
Watching the girls at the Miss USA pageant change and get ready because he can go in the dressing room because he owns
15-year-old girls. He's talking about
standing there with no clothes on and he can do it because
he's excited about getting to see 15-year-old girls naked. That's the person that you're backing as a president.
But we'll sit there and talk about Joe Biden sniffing hair, which is also fucking creepy.
It's also creepy. And I am by no means a Democrat. That is also a big problem that we have in this country with Democrats and Republicans. Everybody is just automatically, well, you're arguing with me about this, so you must be a liberal commie. No. That's actually not true. Actually, you know what? In the first election that I was ever able to vote in, I actually voted conservative. That's a kicker, isn't it? Because listening to this podcast, and it's been 4, almost 5 years now, I would say, huh? It's been a while. Oh yeah, it's been over 5 years. It's been over 5 years we've been doing this podcast. that's something I don't think I've ever really talked about. Is that, yeah, my first vote ever was as a conservative, and if you go through the track history of what I say and the views that I have on this podcast, I'm not a conservative by any means anymore. But I mean, that's the way that I was raised. I was raised that way. I was raised to be, conservative. By the time I was, finally living on my own and doing my own investigation into news and how things were happening and what was really going on around the world, that's when I kind of woke up and in my views changed instantly and I became progressive. Because that's how I would classify myself. I am not a liberal. I am not a Democrat. I am a progressive. I am for progressive movements. Stuff that progresses us forward. Makes our country better. Takes care of our people. That's what I'm for. We don't need to raise taxes on people to get health care.
As demonstrated by the public health emergency known as the coronavirus COVID-19
we don't
pandemic.
need to do that. And not only as that as evidence, but also what we have as evidence is Trump, in his own words, whenever he was asked how he would pay for something, his response, almost verbatim, was, well, whenever I need more money, I'll just print more. That's all I need to do. I just make more money.
Yep.
I'll make more money. If I need more money, I'll make more money.
And
I'm in control of everything.
And where are the fiscal conservatives when he says shit like that, or gives away trillions of dollars to
They're
corporation
nowhere.
and does shit like that, or drives up the largest deficit there's ever been, in a spending period, or create the biggest national debt there's ever been?
Yeah, exactly.
Increase it at the fastest rate
No
it's
doubt.
ever increased.
Exactly. But
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're nowhere. Crickets.
nowhere. Silent. And it's like that with a bunch of issues. And the problem is that whenever somebody like myself tries to have a conversation with you and we actually try to talk about issues, you don't want to hear the other side. All you want to do is continually push your views and say how everything's wrong and how you don't have to listen to anything because that's your opinion and that's your right. But then I should somehow sit and listen to your opinion. How does that work? I just don't get it.
I don't engage with those people. Don't ask me.
This is the political discourse though that is happening on a daily basis. And I don't want to cross plug platforms in my shows and stuff like that, but I do have another show where I play video games. And it's just a podcast show where I'm playing video games and doing stuff and just trying to have fun. Making jokes, whatever. It is now on a routine basis that somebody with their screen name is going to have a Make America Great Again reference, like a MAGA reference, or Trump reference, or MAGA Trump 2020. It's going to be some type of reference like that. And then it's going to be constant racist fucking banter. Just non-stop racism. Talking about killing Jewish people and black people, but using more racial terms.
Derogatory terms?
Yeah. Like the N-word. And
So is there some kind of way to report them or something?
I've taken screenshots. I've posted it on Steam because that's the platform that these video games are on. They're on Steam, which is created by Valve. But I've posted these pictures there. I've posted the pictures to the company who makes the video game. The only real response that I've seen from the online games that that I play on a regular basis is from Psyonix and Rocket League. And to those guys, I applaud you. You're doing an awesome job with the way that you've changed your terms of service, because they put out a lengthy statement and said that they're gonna, that they got it wrong on racial issues in the past. So they're changing the way that they look at those types of things, and they're going to be a whole lot more, thoughtful on it. And with those guys, I have reported people doing that type of thing, and I have seen results, because that is a company that once you report something, they actually respond to you and then say like, hey, thanks to you, we've actually taken action and we've done something against these people. So like, keep doing what you're doing, basically. And that's the way the company is. Unfortunately, some of these other companies, and I'm not, because again, I'm not trying to trash these people, so I'm not going to name the specific company that's making the games, but I haven't seen anything happen, and mainly from Steam, and that makes me sad, because you are the main video game platform. Like, you're the platform that everybody else is using to reach out to children in adults, but mainly, it's geared towards children to engage them and sell them video game products. Okay? You have a responsibility. All of us as people, and especially as white people, have a responsibility now to change the way that we address these issues. Again, the silence is it's making me. It makes me very, very sad. It's just I don't know how else to say it. I know I'm probably sounding a little bit redundant, but I
would just
Michael Jackson said it. You need to take a look at the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen right now. Nobody else in this world is going to change you but you. Okay? And if I've been through that change, and I continuously fight with it and trying to do that, because you have to be the change and the positivity and the actions that you want to see in the world. That's what you have to do. Hence this. If that's what you want to do in the world, that's the vibration that you have to put out. That's what you have to do. And I'm not going to put out that silent, meek, scared, cowardice vibration, because that's what that resembles to me. And with as dire as things are right now, we cannot be cowardice. We cannot stand by and wait for things to get better. We have to start making things better, because it's getting really bad. Hospitals are filling up very fast. The infection rate is moving up very fast. Honestly, Littlefoot and I, we've quarantined basically since the beginning.
And I have a very grim outlook. I feel like this is still the good part. Like, people are so stupid and so ignorant and so blind. But that's what I'm saying.
It's about to get really bad really fast.
Yeah.
It's about to get really bad really fast. And I don't want to scare people. That's not my intention either. I just want people to be prepared. Like, you need to have a hard look at yourself, because
your actions have consequences. You're going to feel the consequences of your actions.
Your actions, or your lack thereof, have consequences. That is the ultimate truth. And I'm trying to be the change that I want to see in the world. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm no longer gonna just sit idly by and accept what other people have decided my fate to be. We all have to be that way. We all can do that. You just have to believe in yourself. There's a reason why you have motivational speakers and they're able to make thousands and thousands of dollars by going around and because there is truth to what a lot of what they are saying. And you have a lot of people, a lot of cynical, evil fucking people who will naysay these people and make fun of these people and call it bullshit.
Well, they also have people that have low self-esteem and have been, fed fluoride water for generations now and, like, so dumbed down and just depressed and depraved and all of it. Like, they don't have light and hope or anything within them. Like,
Yeah, because
that's why they choose to act like that.
They are the hate in the world because that's why they act like that to everybody that they see. Everybody is their enemy. Everybody's a liberal commie unless they...
And the reason why their life is shit.
Yeah, everybody is a liberal commie and the reason why their life is shit unless they think exactly like them. They have to have the exact same views, be told the exact same thing from... And to me, the funniest thing about the whole Republican argument is that... Because corporate news is fake. Mm-hmm. And it's propaganda and it's all controlled. But all they watch is Fox News, which is a corporate media station owned by a corporation. The same group of corporations that you say are liars.
Not only that, but then, because they like to say media is fake, and I know they watch Fox News in the closet at night with, I'm sure there's a lot more going on there that we don't need to get into, but
yeah,
they watch it. But the other thing they do is they get their news from memes on Facebook.
Yeah, which is very bad.
Like this one saying 8,000 children 800,000 children missing a year, 138 COVID deaths. What's the real virus? Where are all the children? So
they're probably in cages on the border.
I'm like 800,000 children a year. I'm like, is that worldwide or in the U.S.? Because that seems like a fuckload. Blah blah blah. Like, so I googled
worldwide.
Well, it's 800,000 children in the U.S. are reported missing a year. 41,000 children are actually taken by people that they do not know.
Yeah, the other ones are by people that they know.
Yeah. Or they're found and were never actually missing, but they were reported missing.
Yeah.
So this stupid meme saying 800,000 children are missing a year is actually wrong because it's just some douchebag trying to deflect and detract and try to make some issue seem worse than COVID because that somehow makes COVID not something you need to deal with if there's something suddenly worse than it. But the funniest part about this is this has been going on for literally like 60 fucking years. And like just now you want to talk about it or care about it?
Yeah.
Not that, 5% of 800,000 isn't a lot, but that's like the death rate of COVID. So you should be concerned about that too.
I mean,
that's my point.
If you needed any type of evidence that the rich were involved in the pedophilia, I mean, it's just that look at the sex trafficking that follows the Super Bowl. Like, I mean, that's a real issue. That is a very, very real issue that is talked about a lot because you do see rise in sex trafficking and in people abducted and shit like that in Super Bowl cities. Because why? You have a influx of rich people, of people with access, people with the money and the ability for excess. And that don't get me wrong, like you don't have to convince me, guys. And I'm talking to my conservative friends over here, okay? You don't have to convince me of Jeffrey Epstein's connections to Bill Clinton. I concede. I totally agree. Clinton is a creep. That's why I didn't like Hillary Clinton in 2016. Okay? That's how much of a liberal I am. Epstein's connected to Trump. This pedophile ring, we're going to see that there are going to be a lot of successful and connected people that are going to be brought into, suspicion of pedophilia with this whole Maxine bitch lady. She's doing anything she can do to get out of jail because, unlike what conservatives are going to tell you, it's not Clinton that's going to kill Maxine. It's going to be Trump. Who's in power right now? Again, I know Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are connected. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to argue that. That's not my argument. My argument is, who is in power now? Who has the most to lose now? Who has the most to gain by Epstein and this lady not being able to talk or testify? Because from what it sounded like, she's going to testify and she's going to spill the beans on a lot of people. She, like, from what, the information that's being leaked, which for a long time in this podcast, what we've done is go on and just get news articles and show them to you. You're good. I turned your microphone down. It's no longer going to be like that. I am no longer hand feeding you information. I'm no longer going to, post up on the screens and stuff like that. You know what I'm going to put on the screen for you guys? There you go. There's a link. Go there. Come and see me. I'm going to post stuff on here. I'm going to try to give you some more information. I'm going to try to be helpful. But I am no longer doing the work for you guys. Because, as my conservative friends would say, me doing the work creates dependency and laziness. So, what we need to start learning how to do is
Google.
If you disagree with something that I say, there is a way for you to fact check me or rebuttal or whatever word you want to use to tell me that I'm wrong. There's a way for you to do that. Prove your point with facts. I don't want to hear opinions. I don't want to hear a 6-paragraph essay that you copy-pasted from a Facebook post by a black guy that supports Trump.
For being free thinkers, they sure do love copy-paste.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. Pardon my French.
I don't have time to sit there and read through that shit. That's opinions. Everybody has opinions. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. Everybody has opinions. And that's okay. It's okay to have opinions. What's not okay is to try to have political beliefs and moral beliefs based strictly on opinions and not facts. That's the issue that we are running into in America today. So, I keep myself abreast of news stories. I try to know what's going on in the world, and I try to provide political satire commentary. That's what I'm trying to do, anyways. Whether I'm succeeding or failing, I don't know. You guys are the judge. But It's just whenever you have a political argument that is strictly based on your opinion, it has no validity. There is nothing of substance to back up the emotions that you are trying to convey and make me to believe. Whenever you're trying to tell me that 2 plus 2 equals 4, you show me how math works and then show me how 2 plus 2 equals 4. There's evidence that I look to, and I'm like, so that's how it's done. So 2 plus 2 equals 4. We can all agree. All of us collectively can agree 2 plus 2 equals 4. Unless you don't know math, then 2 plus 2 equals Jello. So, like, you know, I guess the analogy I'm trying to make is that you're trying to make a mathematical equation with math that doesn't work. Your political arguments. There's no facts behind it. Your political beliefs and stances and morals. Actually, factually, the opposite is true of your beliefs. And we have decades of evidence. And then the first thing that you're going to get from conservative people will say, well, how do you know that tax cuts for rich people don't work? We've never tried it. Newsflash. We have. We've been doing it. For like almost 40 fucking years. Since the 80s. Reagan started this shit. The tax rate for the top, the tax rate for corporations used to be 70%. They used to pay a 70% tax rate. He dropped it down to 30%. He took 40% off of the tax revenue that America was getting off of corporations. And what happened in the 80s? You see the social decline. You see the funding being taken out of schools and the indoctrination of the DARE program and shit like that. Like, I guess, yeah, it had a good message, but in actuality, what it did, it wasn't all that great.
Well, Reagan did the whole war on drugs bullshit.
But he continued what Nixon started.
Yeah,
Nixon started it. It was stupid. But he didn't start it. He just continued it. It's the same thing like well, Obama was so bad. Look at all the shit that he got us into.
I was just born, so, like, I didn't know, you know.
I know, baby. But again, I am versed on political issues and how shit happened. And, like, I'm not going to just argue with you some shit that is my fucking opinion if I'm going to make a political statement. Because why? Because I have actual intelligence. That's why.
And I don't know if you're talking about a specific issue right now or whatever, but
No.
The mask thing is not even political. That's just scientific.
Yeah.
That's like medical advice is...
And these are not mojitos.
I wish they were. Oh, yeah. Now, I'm glad we got mint left. I think I'm going to have to make some mojitos. I got rum.
We do have rum?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what we're doing. Celebratory.
Anyway, but,
for the inaugural.
Yeah, the mask thing is just pure science. There shouldn't be a political debate to whether a mask helps slow the spread of germs because germs don't have a political affiliation.
No. And I'm just talking about in general. I'm just talking about in general in politics because we as human beings, I believe, have lost the ability to effectively communicate. And, you know, present company not excluded. I mean, like I said, I admit I am a work in progress. And I continually try to grow every day and make myself better than the person I was yesterday.
That's I'll understand you better than Trump.
Huh?
I said I'll understand you better than Trump.
Yeah. That's
and
because
he's the president.
That's because I actually have thoughts. And I have a brain that I can actually use.
Not just a gusher for a brain.
Like, whenever I tell you that I'm against the Israel occupation of Palestine, it's not just some opinion that I manifested inside of my brain with no information on the events that transpire to lead us to the point that we are at today. Believe you me, I am well versed in the situation of the Israel and Palestine conflict. There is a reason why I am pro-Palestinian instead of Israel. It's not because I don't want there to be an Israel state. I believe there should be an Israel state. I believe that there is a two-state solution to where everybody can have sides. I mean, that everybody can win and everybody can have equal sides and live. Which, if you ask me, Palestinians, what they're dealing with is a totally fucked situation, because they basically are in a situation where they have walls built around them, so where even if they wanted to escape and get out of the situation that they're in right now, they can't. And Israel totally controls everything that goes in and out of Gaza Strip and the West Bank, where these Palestinian strongholds, but basically territories still exist.
I'm sure we'll see it in Portland soon enough.
Yeah. Because what happened was, I didn't just think that this was a bad idea. I know that America and Great Britain in the 1940s gave away land that wasn't theirs, that belonged to Palestine, and said that Israel could settle there. And then gradually over time, Israel just keeps taking more and more and more and more and more land. It is a gradual increase. And before the 1940s, you never had a country named Israel. It did not exist. It's not to say that those people living in that area did not exist. That is not what I'm saying. That land was called Palestine. That you could trace that back. It's not an opinion. And if you look at the gradual progression of what's happened with the Israel state, the current city-state that we see today, it is a gradual increase in aggression against Palestinian people. It's not an opinion based on opinion. That is opinion based on facts and history that we could go back and look through, and I can point you to every fucking historical event. I didn't just wake up and say, oh, mask is against my freedom. I didn't just wake up like that, and then decide to have that type of a thought and a belief, and then make this whole political stance about it and all that shit. Like, you have to have some type of education and knowledge of politics. It's a problem in school. Like, there should be way more done in elementary, junior, and high school to teach kids about politics and why it's important and why you should pay attention to it.
Well, there's a reason why politicians cut funding to schools.
Yeah, because then you can't tell kids about that shit.
Right.
You need to teach kids about why we need a free press. They did that type of shit whenever I was in school. They did. And I guess that's the reason why I have those types of beliefs, because hey, I went to Catholic school and I went to public school. I went to Catholic school all the way until sixth grade. 7th grade, I went to public school. And I mean, the teaching, religion was truly the only difference to me as far as like elementary to junior high and everything like that. Like, I don't feel like I learned like anything extra going to Catholic elementary school. Like I have some type of, great education that was like, I wouldn't have been able to get any other place. I mean, it was definitely a good education, I guess, because I'm not stupid. But it's just what we're all doing right now. But not me, but just us as a whole, as a country, is trying to just pass the blame off on the media. Well, the media lies to us about this and lies to us about that. That's your fault. You're the ones who didn't say anything with the Telecommunications Act in 1996 or 1994, whenever the fuck it was passed, and Bill Clinton signed into law that allowed the monopolies. You guys didn't say anything whenever these monopolies and these mergers continuously fucking happened. You guys didn't say anything when you see these mergers continuously happen and eventually arrive to the collapse of the financial sector, that you've allowed all these monopolies and vast fucking depths of fucking debt, that like the house mortgage crisis and all this other bullshit that's happened that's caused us to go into these recessions. That shit's not caused by poor people. Poor people don't have the type of money and access to take advantage of those types of situations. That's the type of situations that are able to be taken advantage of by people with money and access. Hence the stock market and stuff like that. I think I saw a figure right now where the stock market like shot up ridiculous amount or whatever, but it's like 29 people or something like that own like 90% of the stock market now.
Right, well, they just gave corporations trillions of dollars in tax breaks and free money, so gee, I wonder where all the stock purchases are going.
Yeah, so now 29 people own like 90% of the stock market. What we have going on right now is just total fucking corruption. And what we have going on again is silence. Silence from the Republicans who are so anti-corruption and anti-pedophilia and all that. Silence from those people. Silence from all the white people against racism and police brutality and systemic racism and white privilege and all this other shit. It's a whole bunch of issues that are blowing up in our face right now because everybody wants to be silent. The time for silence is over. And I've said it the last couple of weeks, I'm going to say it again. Like, you need to start having the hard conversation. I don't want to have these conversations with my kids. I just, I want to take our minds off of it and blah blah. Well, that's a nice privilege that you have there. Some people don't have that opportunity. They don't have that advantage to just be able to take their mind off of it. Because guess what? That's their life 24/7. They got to live that shit.
Some people have to tell their kids, mommy or daddy could be going to the grocery store and could possibly not come home, or you could be walking home from school and possibly not make it home just because
I understand
you could be put in a bad situation based on the color of your skin.
I understand talking to your kids about your skin color and your privilege is a hard conversation, and it's probably something that you're not ready for and you didn't want to fucking do. But guess what's an even harder situation? Not knowing whether your kid's going to come back from the store when they walk to go get a soda or some candy or anything like that because of the color of their skin. That's something they can't ignore. They can't turn that off. They can't just forget about it and try to pretend like everything's okay.
Or someone who's just fucking pumping gas and is suddenly racially profiled and a suspect because they're
in a nice car.
5'7" black man in a gray t-shirt
who has a Mercedes Benz. So it's obviously a stolen car. That shit happens on a regular basis. Do you think that those people would like to just forget about it and pretend like none of that shit is going on and just go on about their lives like everything's okay? Oh, I'm positive they would. I'm positive they would want to do that. That's your privilege. Your white privilege allows you to do that. White privilege doesn't mean, and this is something that I've seen some conservatives try to twist this around. White privilege doesn't mean that you started out with like $10,000 in your bank account and you had, a head start with a job and all that other stuff. No. That's not what I'm talking about with white privilege. That's what we call fuck, I can't even think of the fucking hierarchy fucking shit. Monarchy or whatever. Like corporate monarchy bullshit. Because it's inherited wealth. The money is being concentrated at the top, and it's not coming down to the people. It's only being handed down to the people who are heirs to that wealth. And, that's why you have families who are still in control of shit to this very day, like the Rockefellers and shit like that, who fucking... It's just... Well,
I hear people say stupid shit, too, like... Oh, because I was born into a 2-parent family and went to college, suddenly I have all this privilege and advantage and blah, blah.
No. The privilege and advantage that you have is that you're able to ignore shit that doesn't happen to you because you're not black. Or you're not Hispanic. Or whatever other nationality Trump decides to fucking outlaw that week. Because that's apparently whatever the fuck he does. And the same thing happened with COVID-19. He wanted to call it the Wuhan virus. And then what happened right whenever all that shit kicked off? You saw uprising and attacks against people of Asian descent. People who just looked Asian. Like some people fucking Hispanic. But they kind of looked Asian. And they're getting fucking attacked. Like... There is this mob mentality that is going on, which is very, very reminiscent of the KKK, especially since at Unite the Right rallies, you see KKK flags, Nazi flags, Confederate flags, all that shit flying, and all these people are advocating for Trump, and these are the people that he said that are very good on both sides. On both sides, they're very good people. So you have, really what happened at Charleston was, you had a group of people that were, quote-unquote, Antifa. That's what they were. Because they were against the fascists, who were the Unite the Right people, the quote-unquote Unite the Right, with the Confederate flags, Nazi flags, KKK flags. I even see that shit on video games too. Like I see like KKK flags and shit like that. Like it is beyond fucked up what is going on right now. And the whole reason again why all this is going on is because people want to continue to remain silent because it's easier than having a difficult conversation with their friends, family, and children. Cowards. Fucking cowards. Yeah,
True
so
that.
Yeah. I don't want to keep going on and on and on and on and on, but I want to thank you guys for tuning in again. I hope you're enjoying the new platform we're trying to go with the podcast. We're going to try to refine it. I do want to try to make it more legitimate, and you know that's what Daily Show, Bill Maher, all those guys, they're in suits. You know, they're doing bits, and they have like, you know, segments that they try to get across their information and talk about stuff. And that's what I want to do now. This is no longer going to be where, you know, I'm sharing all these articles and like trying to point you to the information and stuff like that. I've done that for decade almost now. It feels like I've done that for almost a decade. And not to say that it doesn't work, because you know, I'm happy to say this. There's a lot of people on my Facebook page that I don't personally know. These are people that I've met through the podcast and through my political talkings and stuff like that have followed me and you know, wanted to chip in, or not chip in financially, but chip in intellectually, or you know, add their 2 cents to a conversation or something like that. I appreciate that. That's what this is for. This is to share it. I'm no longer going to try to point you to it. We're still going to have the whole True Seeker feel positivity. You know, but don't suspect the positivity for weakness. Because we have to stand up to the tyranny that is in our face now. It is no longer a time to be silent. Again, it is no longer a time to sit on the sidelines watching all this shit go down. It's time to grow a backbone. It's time to man up. And I know that's probably not, you know, politically correct to say with women, but I apologize. It's just, you know, it's an expression. We're gonna have to bite the bullet. That's a better term. Bite the bullet. We're gonna have to bite the bullet and have a really hard conversation with our friends, our family, our children. Might not be something you want to do. Might be a hard thing to deal with. Something that has to happen. Silence is no longer acceptable. I will no longer silently accept tyranny. You're gonna have a very angry man if you try to argue logic with me in tyranny. And it's not angry because, like, you know, I just want to be the America. The anger that I have is because the America that you are trying to put forward is dangerous to everybody that I care about. It's going to make it harder for all of our lives. It's going to make it to where things like this podcast are not possible. And I don't want to live in that fucking world. I hope you guys don't want to live in that world. Because if so, you're going to have a pissed off dude like Jesus in a church flipping tables and whipping bankers with whips. You do those types of things, you make them hate you like Jesus. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one.